Hey y'all, this is Speak Out Loud. I'm Brian, and this is my wonderful, sexy, and awesome fiance, Barry.
Hello.
You're watching our channel, Speak Out Loud, and this is episode 3, Relationships.
A lot of people that we have been talking to recently would like for us to do a vlog about relationships. We have a lot to say about this because relationships are very involved, so we will probably divide this into a couple of parts that will be posted throughout the week. A little bit of backstory about us first. We have been together for over a year, just a little over a year.
A year and a month, and I don't know how many freaking days.
Our anniversary is February the 14th on Valentine's Day.
That was not planned.
We actually met on the internet on
gay.com.
Absolutely. Which is a dating website if you want to call it that.
If you want to call it that.
Yeah. Relationships are very complicated and hard to go through. They can be very wonderful or
very, like, once you slit your wrist and bleed out in a bathtub type of way.
Depending on what kind of relationship that you have. Now, what we're going to say isn't 100%. This is just our experience. This is how we feel about relationships. And the most important thing to relationships would be communication.
Always.
You have to be able to speak to each other, be honest with each other, and tell each other how you feel. No matter if you think that it's stupid, if
you think the other person's going to hate you, because you got to remember, if this person truly loves you, nothing, I mean, they might be upset at first, but they're never going to hate you unless you, like, go out and just be a complete whore. Yeah.
We'll get to that, right? But relationships are very difficult. You have to have communication in relationships. You have to be able to talk to each other. And everyone that knows us would say that me and Brian have an awesome, great relationship.
A lot of people think we have a fairy tale, which I honestly think fairy tales really don't exist. But I believe we have a true and real relationship.
I would much rather have a real relationship than a fairy tale.
Because fairy tales, if you really remember the fairy tales always end really tragic.
They really did.
Yeah.
And I ain't even about that. So, yeah, people do say that we have a good relationship. And one thing that makes our relationship so good is that we can talk to each other. We can be honest with each other. We're not sitting here saying that we never argue or that we never fight.
Yeah, we kind of have like
a little one today, actually. Not really an argument, but we did have.
We expressed how we felt.
Exactly, it was emotional, and you have to have that. People want to avoid controversy a lot of the times in relationships, just like we talked about in episode 2 with insecurities. You are afraid of what you're going to say. The person will get mad at you or not understand. It is always worth talking to the person and letting them know. A lot of people that I know recently have been going through breakups, have been feeling alone, and
that's everyone. Normal.
It is everyone.
It's completely normal.
That's exactly what I was going to say. Everyone feels like that at some point. You have to understand that you do have people to talk to, and that you're not alone.
You know who you are. We love you.
We do love you, and. Honesty. Honesty is extremely important. You have to have communication. You have to be honest about what you are saying. If we hurt each other's feelings sometimes, I don't mean that we mean to, but it does happen. And you've got to be able to tell the person, you hurt my feelings. If you're not explaining to someone that your feelings are hurt, they're not going to know that they did that to you. Well, and it's going to keep happening.
That's what I told Barry, like, earlier when we had the argument. I was like, I didn't know I hurt your feelings like that. It wasn't really, I didn't see it as a big deal. And then when he explained it to me, I was like, wow.
And it's not don't do it in a way where you're tearing someone down or you're trying to make them feel bad for making you feel bad. It is about communication. It is about honesty. We also would like to talk about breakups and cheating at some point.
Betrayals.
Absolutely. But like I said, there are going to be several parts to this blog. Just remember, people, communication and honesty is the key. and never feel alone. Do not get into a relationship because
Just
you
to
are
be,
alone.
yeah. I mean, it's never gonna work ever. Like, sorry, my ADHD is like. Sometimes I think I have Tourette's in some way.
But if you get into a relationship just because you don't want to be alone, your relationship will not work out. You are perpetuating the cycle of hurting yourself. Try to find actual love. Everyone out there has someone that they are meant for.
And it takes time. It's not going to happen overnight because it took us 3 months before we even was like, I really find you attractive. I'm interested in you, not just on the outside, but on the inside.
Oh, yeah.
He knew me like, bam. I was like, wow. I don't even know myself like, bam. I'm like, sorry, snap, snap, snap.
But wait for the one that you are trying to find. Do not just get into a relationship. Relationships like that don't work out. And once you do find someone that you feel like you connect with, you have to remember that relationships are constant work. You do not get into a relationship and go, oh, wow, I'm so in love, and think that that is all there is to it. It is a constant struggle every day. It's constant communication. It's very hard work, and you have to be honest.
Like when you said about the relationships, like, when you're in a relationship and you get out of a relationship, it takes time to get over that person if you really love them. Because I know a lot of people who love the person, has been in a relationship a long time, break up, in another relationship in a week. But I've always noticed that people are miserable because they're trying to find somebody to fill that empty void.
Absolutely. And you can't do that. Give yourself a mourning period. Do not jump from relationship to relationship. That is exactly what I'm trying to say. Because that is you trying to feel a loneliness that you have. Everyone gets lonely. You have to know that there are people that will listen to you. You have family. If you do not have family, you have friends. Everyone has someone that will listen to them. If you feel like you don't have anyone to talk to, then jump on a webcam, jump on a computer, and vlog like we do. People are out there who will listen to you, who understand what you're going through.
We'll talk to you. We'll listen to you.
We're always here to listen. And I have been talking to so many people here recently who have been having relationship troubles. And relationship troubles is the one thing that will get you down more than anything else can really get you down, and it will hurt you so bad.
Can I say something really quick?
Absolutely.
This goes out to a special someone. I'm not going to put her or his name out there. You know who you are. If that person can look at you and say that to you without no emotions, you know what? You're better off without them.
Self-respect is a big thing in not just relationships, but in human nature. If you are with someone who does not respect you, then that is not the right person for you. And I am going to talk more about cheating in one of our next parts to this vlog. Do not cheat on each other, though, people. I want to stress that so bad.
Yeah, don't be like, oh, I got me a man and everything, or I got me a woman, and then go out and, like, party and fuck a bunch of people, and then go back to... And I'm not talking about anybody in particular.
No, absolutely not. This goes out to...
everybody.
Everybody.
I've gone through that shit before.
Mm-hmm.
With my ex... fucking bastard. But
I don't think we have time on this one, but I would like you to tell your story on the next vlog that we do about the last relationship
that's like real, like horrible, painful. Want to slit my wrists and bleed in a bathtub, but now that I have my man, I don't want to do that anymore.
And he does have a story about his last relationship that I think a lot of people will be able to understand, appreciate, and feel for. A lot of people who went through relationships like that. But do not cheat on each other. I do want to say about evil Facebook, have the decency before you leave someone to break up with them in person. Do not get on Facebook and start changing your status to single or what have you without telling the person. I do remember logging on to my Facebook one time and seeing a girl's status. Her relationship was complicated and went to single. Below that was the guy that she had evil Facebook broken up with, and he was like, great way to find out. So she didn't even have the nuts to tell him in person. She posted it on evil Facebook first. Tell the person, do not cheat. If you do not want to be with the person that you're with and you want to be doing all kinds of people, then go to that person. Be like, I don't have those feelings for you anymore. I don't want to be with you, and move on, because cheating on someone hurts them more than you
To the
can
point they want to
understand.
slit their wrists and lay in the bathtub and bleed out.
It's very true. The way he says it makes me laugh, but it is very true. Cheating will hurt you more than anything that you could possibly imagine.
Cheating goes with lying. Dishonesty, which is lying.
How many people, come on, I want to see a show of hands here. How many people has been with someone who has cheated on them? Okay? I, for one, have never...
2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
We see you out there. We know you're raising your hand. I, for one, have never cheated on anyone, because I have been cheated on before. I know how badly that it hurts. So I do not cheat on anyone. I am one of the people who has the ball sack about me to say, I don't want to be with you anymore. And you need to show people respect. That's all that they want, because it's going to hurt so much more if you do cheat on someone.
Because then it's gonna make them feel like they're not important to the person that the next person that they're interested in. Because I mean, a lot of people are scared. Like when something like that happens,
so many
it's
people
traumatic.
are jaded. Like, I've talked to so many people, and they're like, well, everyone cheats. No,
not
everyone
everybody.
does not cheat.
It's the type of people you associate yourself with.
If someone cheats on you, that is their bad. That is not yours. Do not down yourself because you were cheated on. That is not your problem. That is the other person wanting to get out of life whatever they're trying to get. That does not mean that you were a bad person, or that you were not attractive enough, that you were not good enough. You have to let that go and realize that that is that own person's issue, not yours.
Another thing that would cause a lot of relationship issues is people. There's so many fucking people out there, and you know who you are. The people who freaking hang out with their exes.
Don't hang out. People try to do that. I'm so glad you brought that up. People try to do that. That does not work. If you are in a relationship and you're trying to be serious, you're trying to make sure that your relationship works, it cannot happen if you are hanging out with your exes. If you do that, you're going to get caught. Or even if the person knows and they're like, oh, it's okay. It's okay if you hang out with your ex.
Oh,
it's
no,
not.
it's not.
It's really not. They tell you that because they're trying to make you happy. You cannot hang out with someone that has been in your vagina, or that your penis has been in people.
Ass.
Absolutely. It doesn't work, people. Do not hang out with exes. When you get into a relationship, that person has to be the most important person in your life.
If you're with your ex, when you were with that person and they become your ex, there's still feelings there. I'm sorry, but there are still feelings there. And if you're hanging out with your ex, those feelings get
mixed up. Yeah. And yes, absolutely. And one thing I always like to say is, why do we call our exes exes? Because it's an example of what not to do next time, people. Okay? Do not hang out with exes. Do not try to date the same person 5 and 6 times. It doesn't work.
It's just like some people I know who's like, oh, I'm married, and then they're single. I'm married, and then they're single, and then they're like, I love this person so much. They're like the world, and the next day they're like, fuck him, blah, blah, blah. I'm single, or fuck her. She's like a whore, and she has like a billion dicks up inside.
But there is nothing wrong with being a whore. If you choose to be a whore, that is your own business. Do not be a whore when you are with someone that you say you love. Have the decency to break up with that person, to leave that person, and then go be whatever kind of whore you want to be.
Technically, a whore is somebody who cheats.
Yes. So
if you want to be a slut,
go be a slut. But do not be a whore. Whores are way worse than sluts.
Yeah.
I like that. That was nice. And
there
is a difference, people. If you've ever wondered what the difference between a whore and a slut is, that is exactly what we have now told you. We will be. We are. We're getting ready to wrap up for today. We will be talking about relationships in the next at least 2 or 3 blogs that we do. But just to point out, if you want to make your relationship work, honesty, communication, the absolute most important things. On our next episode, we will probably be talking about cheating and breaking up. So I hope you all enjoyed today's episode and keep watching.
Peace. Love you guys. Thanks for watching. Love you. Mwah, mwah, mwah.